You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good day, and welcome to the Mushie Moment for Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. You're stuck with me. My awesome co-host isn't here today. She's up in the Okanagan, up in Kelowna, learning to become a Kambo facilitator, another detoxifying medicine that's very, very powerful. Hope you guys are all doing well today. I was going to come in and do a little more ChatGPT talking, but today I decided to do something different. I'm going to pull up a page that I want to go through. It's kind of a comprehensive guide to microdosing, and I found it has a lot of good information on it, so I actually wanted to go through it with you. So I'm going to add it here so that you can see what I'm following. It's the Psilocybin Microdosing, a comprehensive 2025 guide to science, safety, and transformation. So the dawn of a new era, an introduction to psilocybin microdosing in 2025, setting the scene from underground phenomenon to clinical frontier. The landscape of mental health and wellness is undergoing a seismic shift. Once regulated to the fringes of counterculture and suppressed by decades of restrictive drug policy, psychedelic compounds are experiencing a dramatic and scientifically driven renaissance. As of 2025, psilocybin, the psychoactive compound found in certain species of mushrooms, stands at the forefront of this transformation, moving from an underground phenomenon to a promising clinical frontier. This modern revival is fueled by a powerful convergence of factors, a surge of groundbreaking research published in top-tier medical journals, shifting cultural attitudes that are destigmatizing these substances, and growing bipartisan political support. The scale of this interest is staggering. A 2023 report estimated that 8 million people in the United States has used psilocybin, with half of them reporting that their last use was a microdose. This explosion in public interest has created an urgent need for credible evidence-based information. The global nature of this movement is undeniable, with major international conferences like Psychedelic Science 2025 in Denver convening the world's leading scientists, therapists, policymakers, and advocates to share knowledge and shape the future of this field. This rapid expansion from a niche subculture into a broad demographic of wellness seekers demands a new level of rigor. The conversation has evolved beyond anecdotal reports to a sophisticated dialogue grounded in neuroscience, clinical data, and complex legal frameworks. Very much complex legal frameworks. The growing popular use, however, has outpaced the development of clear regulatory pathways, creating a significant guidance gap. Many individuals are navigating this new terrain with limited access to reliable information, often relying on unverifiable sources. So this particular website, Day Trip Health, they go through, what are the pillars of a meaningful journey: intention, safety, professional guidance. And it tells you, what intention is, the practice of setting clear and positive intentions, the safety around it, the guidance. And it comes on, it tells you what microdosing is about, the history of where things come from, the brain on psilocybin. Let's look at this one, the brain on psilocybin, a 2025 scientific deep dive. The renewed scientific interest in psilocybin has shifted from simply observing its effects to understanding its fundamental mechanisms of action within the brain. Advanced neuroimaging technologies and molecular biology have provided an unprecedented window into how this compound can induce profound and lasting changes in mood, cognition, and perception. The latest research points to a trio of interconnected processes: directed action on the serotonin system, modulation of large-scale brain networks, and most significantly, the promotion of structural neuroplasticity. The master key, the 5-HT2A receptor, and the serotonin system. At its core, the action of psilocybin is a story of molecular mimicry. After ingestion, the body rapidly converts psilocybin into its active metabolite psilocin. The molecular structure of psilocin is remarkably similar to that of serotonin, a key neurotransmitter that regulates mood, cognition, and perception. This similarity allows psilocin to bind to and activate serotonin receptors throughout the brain, with a particularly high affinity for a subtype known as the serotonin 2A, the 5-HT2A receptor. The binding at the 5-HT2A receptor is the master key that unlocks psilocybin's profound effects. It initiates a cascade of downstream signaling with neurons that lead to changes in gene expression, brain connectivity, and ultimately consciousness itself. Recent research has also uncovered another potential mechanism. Psilocin acts as a potent anti-inflammatory agent. This is significant because neuroinflammation is increasingly understood to be an underlying factor in a significant subset of psychiatric conditions, particularly major depressive disorder, anxiety disorders. By exerting anti-inflammatory effects, psilocin may address a core psychological driver of these conditions, offering a novel therapeutic pathway distinct from traditional antidepressants. They've also found that psilocybin and psilocin, they're studying as an anti-aging drug. They're finding that it stops the cells from aging. It slows the aging process of the cells. It also quiets your inner critic, modulating the default mode network. And that's the network our brain is always running on. It has a default mode and it just runs on. And it's patterns, repeating patterns that we picked up and learned and put in place and blah, blah, blah. One of the most consistent findings from fMRI studies of the psychedelic state is psilocybin's effect on the default mode network. The DMN can be thought of as the brain's internal narrator or control center for self-referential thought. It is a collection of brain regions that is most active when we are engaged in introspection, thinking about ourselves, or recalling memories or worrying about the future. In certain mental health conditions, particularly depression and anxiety, the DMN can become overactive and rigid. This hyperactivity is associated with the hallmark symptom of rumination, the tendency to get stuck in rigid, repetitive, and self-critical negative thought loops. Psilocybin has been shown to profoundly disrupt this network. It significantly decreases connectivity and activity within the default mode network, effectively quieting the inner critic and breaking the cycle of rumination. This disruption is not a shutdown, but a reorganization. By temporarily relaxing of the grip of the DMN, psilocybin allows for a state of increased desynchronization across the brain networks. This means that the brain regions that do not normally communicate with each other begin to form new, novel connections, leading to greater mental flexibility, new perspectives, emotional breakthroughs, even better mental mapping. This network level reset is believed to be a key component of psilocybin's therapeutic power, allowing individuals to step outside of their entrenched patterns and thinking. Now, for me, I'm proof of a bunch of that stuff. You know, I've been microdosing for quite a while now. The documentary, I'm microdosing for about, a year and a half, 2 years about a year and a half before we do the documentary. And I'm actually going to show the documentary. It's City TV. It's called Psychedelic Frontier. And myself and my partner in our microdosing company, John, was involved in it. And that's actually how Cindy located me and located us. I shouldn't say me because it's us. And honestly, it wouldn't be me without John, because he was the one, he'd been microdosing longer, and he was the one kind of going, no, let's step up, let's do it, let's step up, let's show people that we're healing, let's show people how things are going. Now, if you watch this documentary, or when you watch this documentary, take note of when I'm in there. because you will see the difference in me. You will see the difference in my energy, in my communication. You will see that I'm on the verge of tears almost every moment through that. And I honestly don't know whether I'm going to stay through that whole thing or leave, because my fight or flight mechanism is activated. And if something makes me too uncomfortable during that documentary filming, I'd already told them I may just get up and leave. It's PTSD, trauma, all of my default mode network patterns that were in place. I had no idea how things were going to go. But, you'll be able to tell just from watching this that there's been a lot of improvement. My partner in crime is able to actually catch a minute of the podcast. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I am actually going to I'm going to share the movie and put it on.
Coarse language and mature themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
You feel high?
Super duper high.
Ancient psychedelic medicines are moving from underground.
Yes, it's illegal. I guess if I get caught, I get caught.
To mainstream.
It's happening now for several reasons. For one thing, the current mental health treatments are not very effective. We needed something better.
It's a shit show out there in this world, and there's a lot of people suffering from depression. I'm not saying I'm not one of them. I'm definitely one of them.
We may have something here that has the potential to be the equivalent of a cure for cancer in the mental health space.
And Canadian business is looking to cash in.
They are looking for the next big thing. They had cannabis. They're saying, what's next? And it turned out to be psychedelics.
Can they succeed where modern medicines have failed?
It's time to really make amends with yourself, not put yourself through the hardships anymore, right?
One war hero is on a new mission to find out.
How can I help you heal from this?
He's facing death. It's worth a shot. There's no assurances, but there's also no other options.
My name is Patrick Bolden. We're in Ancaster, Ontario, just outside of Hamilton. Grew up here until I joined the military, where I was in the military for over 20 years, and I did a tour in Afghanistan where I was deployed as a bomb disposal unit. What I saw in Afghanistan and what I experienced was just a level of hatred that was hard to imagine. When you've been there and you've been through it and you've seen and lived and smelled, and you can't unsee or unsmell these things. It just got worse and worse. The nightmares, sleep deprivation, the drinking. Got seen by the head psychiatrist. First, they medicated me. Antidepressants, sleep medications, antipsychotic. These medications that I was taking did not fucking work. They did not work at all. They demoralized me even more.
Patrick was awarded the Medal of Bravery for his work in Afghanistan, but after being medically discharged in 2011, his life spiraled out of control.
I'm a drug addict. So my drug of choice now has become crystal meth. if I sleep, I wake up and first thing that I do is do a line. It's just a complete lack of control. It's just killing me. From the inside, it's just breaking my heart. Staying home, getting high by yourself, this is no way to live. I don't want to die.
Having exhausted all options modern science has to offer, Patrick is hoping traditional medicine will help him. Specifically, a mind-altering psychedelic.
Psychedelics have therapeutic applications that nothing else can fill. Psychedelic plants like ayahuasca, iboga, and magic mushrooms can produce profoundly altered states of consciousness because they will knock you off your socks. They'll knock you off your base. That's the whole point. You can have insights into why am I traumatized? Why am I depressed? Why do I feel this way? My name is Dennis McKenna, and I'm an ethnopharmacologist, somebody that studies basically the use of medicinal plants in traditional societies and indigenous societies. I am a child of the 60s. That was a time of cultural ferment and a lot of excitement. Psychedelics were just sort of coming into public consciousness at that time. There was a stigma that built up, and there was a lot of hysteria. And psychedelics were all pretty much banned and classified, and still are actually, as so-called Schedule 1 substances, which means dangerous, high potential for abuse, no possible medical use. Well, science has now shown that that's ridiculous. That's an absurd classification for something like psychedelics. The researchers that are leading this are identifying other uses, all supported by good science. You know, this was not fly-by-night stuff. These were very well-structured, highly credible studies. And the studies showed that these psychedelics can be effective, they can be safe to treat mental health.
This unprecedented shift is paving the way for scientists to develop psychedelic medicines in the lab. Leading the way, Canadian companies like Nanaimo-based Numinous.
You're getting text messages from my son. What you doing, Mom? Oh, you know, chopping up some mushrooms. We're looking for psilocybin.
Psilocybin is the compound that people associate with magic mushrooms. In the research studies that are being done, it's being used for both substance use disorder and for depression and anxiety. And the research really shows that there's a very, very strong signal that we may have something here that metaphorically has the potential to be the equivalent of a cure for cancer in the mental health space.
The work being done here is a scientific and legal breakthrough.
Psilocybin mushrooms are actually a controlled substance, and you have to have a controlled substances license to do any of this stuff.
We're one of the first companies to receive a controlled drugs and substances license from Health Canada. So we'll be able to test these mushrooms, making sure that the research findings that we come up with is accessible to other companies that are looking to conduct their own research on their products.
Numinous was founded in the belief that safe and evidence-based psychotherapy should be accessible to individuals that may benefit, and that's really the mission Now we can approach these really serious mental health challenges like individuals with post-traumatic stress disorder who have explored every possible treatment, veterans coming back from Iraq or Afghanistan. And I can say, we have a really good chance of getting you to a place where you could put this behind you completely.
So there was an IED that call that we responded to in the Panjwai district. So I was doing a hand dismantle on an IED, and after I had rendered it safe, I did a search for secondaries, and really close to it, there was a disturbed earthen. And then I found a scarf, Afghani scarf there, pulled it out, unwrapped it. And there was a dead baby that had a explosive device strapped to it. I think if you can pinpoint one moment in time where your whole life changed, I think that my heart broke right there.
Patrick is preparing to fly to Vancouver to take part in an ancient ceremony where he'll take the psychedelic African root called iboga under the care of an experienced practitioner, Mark Howard.
Iboga is a shrub that grows in mainly Africa. The medicine has physical abilities to help someone, purge toxins out of their body. It has the ability to go and clean someone's spirit up as well. It offers them the opportunity to take a deep dive into their self and get an idea of different experiences that have happened that are affecting them now.
Iboga is not being studied as extensively as psilocybin, so nobody yet has legal approval to prescribe it.
When talking to Patrick, he's under the grip of a very powerful, strong addiction with methamphetamines. I mean, he was facing death. So it's worth a shot. There's no assurances, but there's also no other options.
If I don't get on that plane, I'm not going to live for much longer.
Patrick Molden has arrived in Vancouver to prepare for the psychedelic treatment he hopes can change his life.
How you doing?
He's meeting up with another PTSD sufferer who's already used iboga.
It's time for me to latch onto this like a fucking life dinghy in the wind, man, because it's real.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
Probably like me, I exhausted all the typical or what people would call normal routes, like the counseling and stuff.
Yeah.
And this was one of the few things that I found that actually helped.
Yeah.
I'm Eric Craig Bjarnson, and I'm a retired firefighter and rescue member. When you freeze your hands, it's so bizarre because it's so painful. It's like dipping them in boiling water, and then that pain moves up your arm. In 2005, a whole bunch of us from search and rescue went up on Mount Logan, and we got hit by a subtropical cyclone at altitude. We just happened to be at the worst possible place at the worst possible time when the cyclone hit us, and we ended up digging in and trying to survive. It took about 3 days for our buddies to get to us. So it was -90 with a wind chill. And I remember when I was finally pulled off the mountain thinking, oh my God, this is surreal. Like for 3 days, I was getting prepared mentally to die. And now all of a sudden I'm going to live. They amputated just all my fingers up the first knuckle on this hand, before the first knuckle on this hand, and then half my thumb. The recovery process was quite difficult. And that's when I started drinking. And that became my life. So I talked to a gentleman, he told me about Iboga. So why don't I try this? And I went down and I went through a couple ceremonies. I went from drinking almost every single day, like a lot, like not a cup of beer, I'm talking like, bottle of a 26er, to now like I can have a glass of wine or have a couple of beer and call it a day. What I found with the Iboga, it makes you have an incredibly serious talk with yourself, and kind of gave me some insight into what I need to do, changes I need to make.
It's a big step. It's a desperate step, but it's the only step. It's the only way.
Patrick needs to spend the next several days undergoing a complete detox, an essential step ahead of his Iboga treatment.
With psychedelics, the effects are spectacular. When it works, the effects can't argue with them. It really works if it's properly done. I think we're a long way from the point where you can go to a psychedelic therapist and request this therapy and get insurance to pay for it. There's only one psychedelic, and it isn't even a true psychedelic, but that you can use in that clinical setting that's approved, and that is ketamine.
Hello.
Hi there.
Nice to meet with you.
Nice to meet with you.
Dr. Roger McIntyre is a professor of psychiatry and pharmacology at the University of Toronto. He started Canada's first clinic to treat mood disorders using ketamine, a decades-old drug originally designed for another purpose.
Ketamine is a pharmacologic agent that has two indications in medicine. It's used in anesthesia. It's used, for example, to carry out surgical procedures. Ketamine also now has an indication as an antidepressant. In fact, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration labeled ketamine as a breakthrough drug in psychiatry, a superlative that they don't usually bandy about.
In 2019, the U.S. FDA gave the same breakthrough status to psilocybin. McIntyre is now the CEO of a new company investigating its potential, Champignon Brands.
With Champignon Brands, what we're interested in is to hopefully in the future identify other types of treatments like psychedelics that might be in some ways better and safer than the existing medications we have. If other treatments get across the finish line with safety and efficacy, let's make them available. So we have a clinic in Toronto, we're looking at other clinics around the world to make them available. We're in the lab, synthesizing, looking at potential, what we call candidates. And once we have a candidate, then we'll move, in fact, to a healthy volunteer first in human study.
A lot of companies now are looking at psilocybin. And naturally, when you have something like that, you're going to attract the attention of the investment community. Entrepreneurs always looking for some place to invest their money. Where the money is to be made is in terms of the services that you provide. You have to have a place to do this. You have to have experienced therapists with training. That's where the money is.
A proven clinic generates revenue. And people recognize that you can make a lot of money in that space by funding early stage companies.
Bill O'Hara monitors newly launched psychedelic companies for investors.
They are looking for the next big thing. They had cannabis. They're saying, what's next? and it turned out to be psychedelics. Once the approvals are granted, you'll see a competition for these drugs to be developed and then prescribed. And that's going to be a huge market. And that'll create another flood of investment.
There are now more than 200 companies researching psychedelics, many based in Canada.
We are still in the very early stages when it comes to psilocybin. We are uncertain as to whether this treatment will be safe. That's the first thing we need to prove. And if it is effective. It's certainly very, very promising.
Well, I don't know of anything that cures post-traumatic stress like the psilocybin does.
Do one more compression and then I'll do one more run.
Yes, it's illegal. I guess if I get caught, I get caught. You've got to fold it in really slowly or else it goes into powder everywhere. That's what makes me a chocolatier.
John Sayer has been using magic mushrooms illegally for the past 8 years.
Everything I learned is mostly online.
His specialty? Psychedelic candies.
If you grind up the mushrooms and then put them in a chocolate and mix it up, then you can microdose. Microdosing is when you just take a small little amount. So recreational, you'd probably do a gram, but microdosing about 100 milligrams, which is 1/10 of a gram. And you don't get high. It blocks part of the brain that has bad thoughts. I was an elevator mechanic and I did maintenance. I loved to ski, loved to golf, riding motorcycles. I had a great job and life was good. I was on my way to the mechanics to get an oil change and a SUV crossed the center line and hit me head on. And over 30 upper body fractures, tore my leg off. I was in the hospital for 8.5 months. If it wasn't for microdosing, I wouldn't have gone through it the same. It reset something in my brain, and the post-traumatic stress, now I don't have it at all. That's 125 milligrams per piece.
John sells the chocolates and homemade capsules by word of mouth with help from his friend Steve Mather.
So this is a pre-mix.
Okay.
So then I need you to just dump a bunch in there.
Yeah.
Get them fluffed up so that they're fluffed and ready to rock and roll. That's good. So, and then this one is the mushrooms, if I can get you to fluff that in there. I generally, do the research, come up with the mix. And John's been the guy that has the best of the mushrooms you can find. Quality control is very, very important. You want to be precise with the psychedelic aspect. This is the first time I've come forward publicly. I suffer PTSD and anxiety. Freedom. This represents freedom. It represents freedom from being stuck in a dark place in your head. And I just hope that we can help a lot of people find freedom. One more compression and then I'll do one more run.
We're not making any money by any means, but we're not in it really to make a lot of money. We're in it mostly to helping people, it's the best thing. It doesn't work for everybody. It's not a cure-all. It only works on about 2/3 of the people that I've worked with.
30, big fella.
Yes, it's illegal. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be legalized once the studies start showing how much it's helping people.
The honourable member for Nanaimo Ladysmith.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to present e-petition 2534. Almost 15,000 Canadians have signed this petition calling for the decriminalization of psychoactive plants and fungi that have traditionally been used for medicinal and ceremonial purposes by Indigenous people since time immemorial. I've known for a long time that psychedelics can help people with addiction issues. I had a cousin who had schizophrenia, who was very close to me growing up, and he was in and out of the criminal justice system for years. The last time he got out of prison, he was on a bus on his way home, died of an opiate overdose on the back of the bus in the bathroom. So it matters. It matters, yeah. To compose myself a little bit. The petition calls on the Government of Canada to amend the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act, the Food and Drug Act, and regulations to distinguish and exempt these organisms when used for therapeutic practices, as adjuncts to medical care, for healing ceremonies, or solitary spiritual growth and self-development. One of the things that I learned about psilocybin after my cousin died is that microdosing on psilocybin actually changes the nature of the voices in people's heads. You know, it's one of those things I would have liked to have known when my cousin was still alive. And I think this petition, it's another piece of the pressure that's added to the government to deal with the crisis that we're facing with mental health and addiction.
But not everyone is waiting for the law to change. One Canadian company is setting up shop where it's already legal.
Just video me, okay? I'm gonna go talk. Wow. Thank you all for coming. Can I hear one? Thank you all, first and foremost.
Hi, my name is Todd Shapiro. I'm the CEO of Red Light Holland. We're here in the Netherlands. We're a publicly traded company, though, back in Canada. A lot of people will ask me, well, why'd you start your business in the Netherlands? You're a Canadian. They legalized it. Red Light Holland has developed a brand. It's called iMicrodose.
iMicrodose contains low levels of psilocybin, extracted from magic truffles.
It's a beautiful product. It's got iMicrodose freshness, and you go and use it and read the instructions. There's a leaflet. It's very safe use. We are going to have iMicrodose packs on shelves in the Netherlands in a market where we're allowed to do this.
Red Light Holland is building a large infrastructure to support the business, which includes this farm in Horst, 2 hours outside Amsterdam.
I purposely tried to get a group of people to support Red Light Holland who were successful, and successful on a global scale. So let's look, for example, with Russell Peters.
Back in the day, when you see a white person, you knew they were white immediately. But now you need to confirm. What are you, sir? Are you white? Even you hesitated. I'm the CCO of Red Light Holland. I got involved with the company via Todd Shapiro, who asked me if I would come on board and help be part of the creative, or rather run the creative side of it. Look at the times we're living in right now. It's a shit show out there in this world, and there's a lot of people suffering from depression. I'm not saying I'm not one of them. I'm definitely one of them. If this can somehow bring your downs up and keep your ups up, then I'm all for it. I still have not tried it, but I will be trying it, and I hopefully will have a great experience with it.
I want other countries to hopefully see what the Netherlands currently sees, which is make this stuff legally, but do it responsibly. And maybe we can start with other markets like Canada one day. We love you all. Cheers. Thank you. iMicrodose.
Back in Canada, Patrick Molden is 14 days sober. He's being assessed by a psychologist ahead of his iboga ceremony.
Tell me, please, what's bringing you to this experience of iboga?
So, short and skinny of it is addiction, heavily addicted to crystal meth.
Okay. And trauma is very, very, especially such cumulative trauma like yours, it really requires lots of deep therapeutic work, which would normally take years. And I think that's why you came here, because you know that this kind of work with the medicine, it can take you really deep, really fast to address the cause of addiction. And I can't wait to see the result of this for you.
Thanks. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a lot nervous. It's kind of like jumping out of a plane nervous.
We're ready to rock and roll, brother.
Okay, let's do it.
After weeks of preparing, the moment has come for Patrick Molden's iboga ceremony.
We start off the night, we'll sit in a circle and we'll talk about the truth. Now it's time to save your own life. In order to create the life that you want, you need to know who you are.
That's what I've been really struggling with. Like, it's a long time.
Who is Pat Molden?
I don't know.
So you have to learn about who you are in a truthful way. You have to be able to face what you've gone through. You have to be able to accept it, forgive yourself, let it go. You know, that's what this is going to be all about. How's the medicine?
Tastes horrible. With a worse aftertaste.
Take your blood pressure. I'm gonna get you to hold this in that hand. One of the biggest things for having medical professionals on site for psychedelic medicines is the fact that they are medicines. It comes with very real side effects and potencies and things we have to watch out for. So we do rigorous pre-screening, just as if you were going for surgery.
You feel high?
Super duper high.
Okay, good. Stare at the ceiling and tell me if you see anything.
Oh, I see stuff. Yeah.
Patrick will now undergo a psycho-spiritual, a trip into his past and present without leaving his mat.
We need to go to the source of the problems to understand how to resolve them. So we will walk in and detoxify his mind, spirit, and body and allow him to reconnect with his own soul and to help heal some tremendous trauma that he's undergone in a war. You know, it's time to like really make amends with yourself, not put yourself through the hardships anymore, right? I want you to go find Pat. Say hi, Pat.
Hey, buddy.
Tell me what he says.
Yo,
Say, how you doing?
how are you doing? He says, I'm all right.
See, I'm here to help you with all of this, and we're here to make amends.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to make this right.
Say, Pat, can I ask you some questions?
Yeah. Can I ask you some questions then while we're here? Yes, of course. For sure.
I want you to go to Afghanistan and find Patty out there. The day he was digging up the baby. You see that? Just breathe, okay?
I found a scarf, Afghani scarf there, pulled it out, unwrapped it, and there was a dead baby. Oh, wow. I see pain and I see lots of dark, like looks like it's dead.
Say, Pat.
Okay, Pat.
I'm so sorry, man. I know how hard this is to do.
I'm sorry, man. I know how hard this is for you to do right now.
Ask him if the drugs affected your nightmares.
Did the drugs? Yes, 100%. They made everything worse.
You ask him, is it worth me killing myself for this?
Is it worth me killing myself when I can't seem to get past this over and over and over again? No, it's not worth killing yourself over. Nothing is worth killing yourself over.
Exactly, Bessie. I want you to look at Pat, okay, and say, listen, we're going to leave this place.
We're going to leave this place.
And we're going to leave all of the destruction and carnage behind us. I want you to bring him back to Canada. And tell him we don't have to go back there anymore.
No, we're not going back there anymore.
All right? All right, you need to clean that mind out from all the meth and the dirty thoughts and the trauma.
Okay.
Now what do you see?
This is bright and clean.
Okay. Ask him how you can heal from this. Say, Pat, how can I heal from this? How can we heal? How can I help you heal?
How can I help you heal from this? What is it going to take to be able to get past this? Time, just time, and sobriety. Being nice to yourself, being kind to yourself, meditate, give attention to the dog, and artwork.
Okay. Artwork. That's it. Say, Pat, do I have a future in art?
Do I have a future in art? Yes, you do, definitely. Fuck yeah.
It's okay, it's okay. All right?
You scared me.
No, it's okay.
Holy shit, man.
Just lay back and relax because you had your eye mask on, right? It's good. This stuff's done now. And all your new stuff, right? All that stuff that you can leave now in the past. We dealt with it, okay?
Oh, I feel
It's good.
like I'm so on the other side of that.
That was an amazing journey.
I know it's not a miracle and it doesn't happen overnight, but I want to believe in myself again.
It's been 1 month since Patrick Molden's iboga ceremony.
I'll never deny the grip that addiction has had on me. The road away from the right path, once you're on it as an addict, is only one decision away. I'm still scared.
What assurances are there what work for Patrick? Well, I mean, obviously, like with everything, you never really know which way it can go.
The same uncertainty faces the entire psychedelic industry.
The issue is, can it be made legally available for those who have a bona fide mental disorder or medical condition?
The problem is that this is such a tricky area right now. They really have to avoid making mistakes.
It is so important that we do the right thing, that we stay ethical. Because really, at any time, if something were to go drastically wrong, the authorities could pull the plug on everything that everyone is doing right now, which would be a travesty.
I think it's a larger conversation about decriminalization.
Like legalizing any drug, just like cannabis, you need to have strong educational programs so young people can understand the effects of them, so people can understand what the benefits are, but also what the harms might be.
Already, there are signals of approval.
4 Canadians suffering from terminal illnesses have been approved to receive psychedelic therapy to treat end-of-life distress.
A few patients were granted exemption to consume psilocybin-containing mushrooms as part of their treatment to address their terminal illness anxiety.
And from my conversations with federal and provincial policymakers, I think there's every reason to believe that we'll be able to get the therapies approved within the next sort of 2-year time horizon.
I know that I've overcome this because the medicine cleaned me out, like it purged me, it wiped all that toxic shit out of my system, including my heart and my soul. One of the questions that I had asked for guidance with during the psychospiritual was the importance of art, and what role is it going to play in my future. I'm excited today to be part of the Hamilton Art Crawl in Hess Village. It's an art show, basically. You just have an opportunity to show off your work. And so I got a spot down there and got a table and a bunch of my stained glass and my paintings. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't sober. I would like the idea of it for sure, but I wouldn't put myself out there like that at all. So I'm super pumped. I would like to know the story on the glass. Using the beach glass from who knows what. The blue, I think, comes from like the Vince Vapor Rub bottles. Because I have so it's trash. Yeah, it's ocean trash. It's ocean garbage
made into art.
Yeah. Hi. Rachel is a very special lady that's come into my life recently, and we were together when we were kids. We were 13, 14 years old, and here we are years later, you know, in different times in our life, and we've reconnected, and it's just really nice. She's absolutely lovely.
You did it.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty neat, all my stuff together like this. For her to come back into my life like this is just so natural. It's so wonderful. She's just so lovely that I'm just like, I still get butterflies in my stomach when I think about her. You know, what do you think?
I love the colors.
You can really see it in the daylight, you know, like, but I think it turned out all right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked with it. It's the first piece that I made sober. Yeah. And so it's huge.
I love the third eye.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I think like the third eye there, I just feel like it's seeing right into me, man. It's seeing everything that I don't want anybody to see, you know?
Actually, that's very telling.
I mean, the medicine is not like a miracle. It doesn't come in and completely just relieve you and then set you out on your new path. You know what I mean? It helps you get in line with your true path and what you really want. Every breath that you take is glorious, you know? You're free. Your mind is clear. Your heart is open for the potential of an awesome future.
On the next Veracity.
The West Coast is burning.
Wow. Welcome back to the Mushie Moment. Tuesday, September 2nd. Rest in power, Patty. Patty passed away in December 2024, or 2022, sorry. And there's a part of me that goes, man, am I so glad he got to experience all of that beautiful time. That was after the darkness that had happened. He got a big period of light before he passed away. And, he won a lot of medals was awarded a lot of medals for his bravery. He was a strong man, and rest in power, brother. I'm proof that the medicines can work. I'm still here. And, they say, yeah, it's illegal and they're working on it. If you're struggling, reach out. A lot of people say, hey, man, I'd rather talk to you while you're alive than hear about your funeral. John, myself, and Cindy were those type of people. Reach out. We'll see what we can do for you. We'll see where we can help. We'll see if we can give you a little bit of hope, just like somebody gave to us. Microdosing changes lives, man. It's changed mine, and I'm living proof. And the amount of people since John and I did that documentary that we've met that use the microdoses and hug us and just give us love for the change in their life, the positive change, the healing that they've started to have, the healing pathway that they're able to find. It's a beautiful thing. And if you're suffering, if you're in depression, you got PTSD, you're riding in the darkness, your vibration is riding in the negative, and you're struggling, reach out. Reach out. You can go to ateze.com or ateze.ca. You can even email me, stephenmather@yahoo.com, stephenmather@gmail.com. Reach out if you're struggling. And I promise the least we're going to do is try it out. People reached out and helped me, and my partner in the company, John, is one of them. My other partner in the Thrive company, Carrie Cease, he's one of them. They're people that held me up when I was struggling, when I was falling, when I was thinking there was no way I was going to be able to stand back up. I've had a lot of friends that have been around me and helped me through a lot of tough times. And, the microdosing, it's healing me. It's putting me in a place where the past damage doesn't come in and blast me again. The memories are memories without the emotional context to rattle me up and throw me into PTSD moments. It's okay to have the memories. It's okay to have bad memories. It's not okay to relive them. Reliving them is damaging everything in you. So if you're struggling, please reach out. And hope to see you next week. Have a most awesome day, and much love from the Mushie Moment.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.